Hello, this is Swati and I am from the Department of AI and DS working as an assistant professor in the St. Martin's Engineering College, and today my topic is about the TCP and IP reference model, where we'll use the TCP IP in the reference model in the networking. The TCP IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and the Internet Protocol. Without the TCP and IP model, we can't use any network, where as we all know that nowadays all of our work will be in the network only. So we are having multiple layers in the TCP by IP model, and we are having we are having the another model just like as TCP IP model. That model also we can call as OSI reference model. So my topic is TCP by IP model, where the TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. The TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, and the IP stands for the Internet Protocol, and the IP stands for Internet Protocol. Whereas we all know that nowadays without the internet we cannot do any set of work, because from the starting of our day till the end of the day we will use simply the network, where you can, if you want to communicate with your friends or if you want to communicate with anyone, definitely you will use the internet. And we are having so many types of like routers, hubs, we are having so many types. And whenever coming to the TCP, we are having the 4 layers. So coming to the first layer, so in TCP we are having 4 layers. Coming to the first layer of the TCP, the first layer is the data link layer. The first layer is the data link layer in the TCP and IP protocol. And coming to the second layer in the TCP IP, the second layer is the network layer, which is used to exchange the data from the one net to the another net, or from a one person to the another person. And so these are the 2 layers in TCP IP. And coming to the third layer, the third layer is nothing but it is a transport layer. So the third layer is the transport layer, where we are using to exchange the data from the source to the destination. Actually, the network layer and the transport layer also will be similar, but the difference in the network layer and the transport layer is, in the network layer, we are exchanging the data from the source to the destination. Whenever we are coming to the transport layer, there the data, along with the data, we'll add some port addresses, sequence number in the transport layer. And the last layer in the TCP by IP model is nothing but the application layer. So the another layer in the TCP by IP model is the application layer. So these are the 4 layers where we are having in the TCP and IP model. So whenever we are using TCP IP, these 4 layers will be working continuously, as where our data is exchanging from one node to the another node. Okay, as we know that if we want to exchange the data from one node to the another node, there will be so many intermediate nodes where the data is being exchanged. And we will have some routers where it is used to show where the destination is and where the packet has to move from one source to the another source. So these are the 4 layers in TCP by IP model. So I'll just compare about the TCP and OSI reference. Actually, when coming to the OSI reference model, we are having 7 layers. Coming to the OSI model, so it is OSI reference model. So coming to the OSI reference model, we are having 7 layers in the OSI model, and it is a bottom up approach. So whenever we are calculating or whenever we are counting whenever we are doing some work with the layers, we'll start from the bottom layer to the top layer. So as we'll also write in the same order, and the bottom layer is nothing but the physical layer in the OSI reference model. So the bottom layer is the physical layer. So in the TCP and IP, the first bottom layer is the data link layer. But coming to the OSI reference model, the bottom layer is the physical layer and the second layer will be the data link layer. Where in the TCP by IP, the first layer is the data link layer, and in OSI reference model, the first layer is the physical layer and the second layer is the data link layer. And coming to the next layer is network layer. So first is physical layer, next data link layer, next network layer, and then the fourth layer in OSI model is the transport layer. And it is the transport layer. As you can observe that in the OSI model, we are starting with the physical layer, data link layer, network layer and transport layer. But in the TCP by IP, the first layer itself is the data link layer, and we are having more two extra layers in the OSI reference model. Those two are the session layer, and the next layer after the transport layer is the session layer, and the next one is presentation layer. The presentation layer, which the presentation and session layer won't be available in the TCP by IP model. And as same as the TCP by IP, the OSI model is also having the topmost layer as the application layer, because the application layer is a user interface layer where only the user can communicate with the application layer only. Even though these many operations are coming also, the user will only communicate with the application layer. And also we can tell that the application layer is a graphical user interface, where if we are searching about something, if we are doing any operation, if we want to ask something in the Google, so whatever it may be, we'll just communicate with the application layer only. And also we can tell that all these remaining layers are the supportive layers, which, for example, if I am asking a question in the Google, just I am typing something for, okay, then we have to get the data, we have to get the related data from what we are typing in the Google. So how we'll get the related data? So this is a process which is happening in the internet whenever you are searching something. So nowadays, we'll search something, we'll do anything in the internet. So whatever the operations we are doing in the internet, it will be based on all these layers only. So first we'll go with the physical layer. So coming to the physical layer, it will take the data from the user and it will convert the data into bits. It will convert the data into bits, and then the data is going for the processing. Okay. So next, what is meant by TCP by IP protocol suite? So it is used in different layer where the data is exchanged from one person to the another person. Nowadays, it is the most common thing for everyone that we are exchanging the data for everyone using the internet. So this is about interaction between one person to the another person. Definitely without using this one, you cannot communicate with the another person. So in TCP IP, that means the internet protocol is used to exchange the data from the source to the destination. So you can see that it is also type of hardware where you can take an example of a Wi-Fi modem or Wi-Fi router where we are exchanging the data. That means from that you are taking the data and you are using something. So it is sharing the data to the multiple sources. And the next one, we are having, as I just now I told you, we are having 4 layers in the TCP by IP. So the first layer is a data link layer, and the second layer is a network layer, and the third layer is the transport layer, and the last one is the application layer. So it provides the end-to-end communication. End-to-end communication is nothing but from one person's side to the another person, or other we can tell as the server to the client. And next, here there will be the different operations for each layers in the TCP by IP model. So how the TCP by IP model works? So as we know that we are having different IP addresses for each and every system. So with that IP address or MAC address, you can identify the system and you can exchange the data. Okay, all these topics will come under the computer networks, where the computers are connected with each other to exchange the data between themselves. So whenever the data is exchanging from one computer to the another computer, or one source to the another destination, the data will be moving in a particular network, where we'll send the data in the form of packets. So where each packet consists of the data node and the sequence number, the port number and everything. So we'll discuss about these 4-layered architecture in the next bit. And the next one is how the TCP IP works. So these are the 4 layers in the TCP by IP. So coming to the first layer is the link layer. Link layer is nothing but the data link layer. And the second one is the internet layer. It is also nothing but the another name for internet layer is the network layer. And the third one is host to host layer is nothing but the transport layer. And the next one is the application layer. So where you can observe here, we are sending the data from the sender to the receiver side. So the data is exchanging from the sender to the receiver by using these applications. So by using these applications, you are sending the data from one place to the another place. So what are the things you are using in between to send the data? Those things are nothing but the application layer, host to host layer, internet layer and the link layer. So all these layers, here you can see that all these layers are connected to the internet, where each and every operation what you are doing is connected by the internet. And we can also say that whenever you are exchanging the data from the sender to the receiver, there can be a data loss in between the network also. So there is a router which is used to check whether the data is going in a particular order or not. That means whenever we are sending the data from the sender, whether it is going in a correct network order or not to the destination. So we will check by based on the routing table. So each and every node will have a routing table, where the routing table consists of the destination ID and the sequence number and the data packet number. Why? Because the routing table consists of all this is, if the routing table does not consist of all the data, we can take an example that the routing table only consists the address of the sequence number and just the data packet, but it doesn't know the destination number. Then how can we send the data? Then how can we confirm that it is the correct destination to which we need to send the data? If we want to identify that, we'll place a routing table in each and every node. So the routing table will consist of all these data. That means from where we are getting the data. So what is the type of data? Is there any data duplications? What is the sequence number? And what is the destination ID? So by checking all this, we can send the data from the sender to the receiver. And the one more thing is, first we'll check whether the data is going in a correct order or not. That means we'll check the sequence number. And next, first whenever we are sending the data, we have to check whether the network is free or not. That means if we want to send the data continuously from sender to the receiver, definitely we need to check whether the network is free. That means can we send the data in that network, or whether the network is having any type of traffic. So definitely we need to find the shortest path whenever you are sending the data from one sender to the receiver. That means if you are not finding the shortest path, definitely we have to select the best path. It can be shortest or the path can be long also. Why? Because if there is a huge network in the shortest path, we cannot assure that the data will go from the one sender to the receiver accurately. So the thing is, you have to select the best path, not the shortest or the longest path. So based on whether the path is not having any type of traffic, whether all the data packets are going properly. So based on all this, you have to send the data from one source to the destination. That means from the sender to the receiver. And in between, from the sender to the receiver, you will have so many intermediate nodes, where all the intermediate nodes helps to send the data from one place to the another place. If there are no intermediate nodes between the data, definitely we can't send the data properly from the sender to the receiver. So this is the reason why we'll have so many intermediate nodes in between the data. And coming to the TCP IP working, we are having 4 layers as I discussed with you. Coming to the first layer is the data link layer, where as here you can see it is a link layer. In the word it is mentioning that link. So whenever the data is functioning there, it will link that data to the another layer. So again the data link layer is also divided into 2 types. So coming to the first one in the data link layer is the MAC layer, and MAC layer, and the next one is LLC. Okay, so whatever the operations we are doing in the MAC layer, that operations will be linked with the another layer by using LLC. So coming to the data link layer, as we discussed, the data link layer is also divided into 2 types, that is the MAC layer and the LLC, logical link control. So first the data link layer will take the packets from the physical layer. That means we are having the physical layer in the OSI reference model. As we discussed that there are 7 layers in the OSI model, where in physical layer, the physical layer will take the data from the user, and by using transmission medium, the physical layer will convert the data into the bits, and it will send to the data link layer, where the data link layer will take the data from the physical layer and it will divide that data into the number of frames. So in data link layer, we can tell that the data is divided in the form of frames. So in all these things are happened in the MAC sublayer, that means media access sublayer. So in media access sublayer, the data packets are that data is divided into number of frames, and where each frame consists of some set of data, and next that data all which is happened by the MAC sublayer, that data is linked to the internet layer by using the logical link control. So that is the reason we have mentioned here it as a link layer. So after taking data from the physical layer, it will link that data to the internet layer, where the internet layer is nothing but the network layer, where the network layer takes the data from the link layer, and then it will add some sequence numbers to that the data from where it got from the data link layer, and the data it will add some error correction and error detection bits. That means if the data is moving from the one place to the another place, definitely there will be occur some errors in that data. That means there will be a data packet loss. So it will add some bits. In the starting it will add error correction, and at the end it will add the error detection bits, where it can identify the errors in that, and in the next time it will try to reduce the errors which are identified by the error correction. So once the adding of bits at the starting and ending is completed, then it will send to that the transport layer, where the transport layer is responsible for sending the data from the remaining layers to the top application layer. As we know, the top layer is the application layer and The transport layer is responsible for sending the data from the lower layers to the top layers, and the transport layers will add the sequence numbers and the port numbers to which the data will go. Okay, and the next we are having some more applications in the transport layer as the domain name server, where the domain name server is used to identify the IP addresses of any name. That means, as we can take example of a Wikipedia. As we don't know the IP address of some websites or something, we can identify with that name. So the domain name server is used to get the IP addresses by using the names of particular things. And we are having so many operations in the transport layer. It is used to send the data with proper accurately, and we can tell that the transport layer and the data link layer are equal to each other, where in the data link layer it will add the error correction and detection bits in the starting and ending of the data. But in the transport layer, we are having the error control mechanism, where the error control mechanism is used to control the errors which are identified by the error detection mechanism which is used by the data link layer. So that is the reason why we are telling that they are interconnected with each other, because it is keeping the error detection bits, error detection place in the whenever it is sending the package, and the transport layer uses error control mechanism to handle that errors. And the topmost layer is the application layer, where the application, as I told you that, where the application layer is a graphical user interface, where it will communicate with the users and it will send the data from one user to the another user. That means, for example, I am a user and I want to communicate with one layer. So it is an application layer. That means when I am communicating with the application layer, we can communicate the application layer, or it can send back us by using an mobile application. That means you can take example of mobile. If we want to call something or if we want to message someone, we are using the messages, WhatsApp, Facebook. So you are using some set of mobile applications to exchange the data, where the application layer will use that mobile applications to exchange the data from the user to the remaining paths in the TCP by IP suite. That means whenever we are sending or requesting some data, the application layer will send to transport layer and transport to the internet and internet to the data link. And there the network is connected to all these layers, and this is the thing which is happening in the TCP and IP. And next, coming to the next one is how it works. The working of TCP by IP is nothing but in between we are having so many routers where the data is exchanged from one router to the another router, and such as forwarding the web page, and by using a network. As I told you, we will use a network to send the data from the sender to the receiver, where the data is exchanged between them, and in between them we are having so many types of nodes. And you can see here the clients request the different types of data, because there will be different types of clients who is requesting different types of data for their purposes. And what is the highlight of TCP by IP? You can see that as it is divided into four layers, the different layer will works in a different manner. That means the work can be completed very fast. If the work is only for one person or one thing, the work can be done very slow. But if the work is divided between someone, it can complete fast. So in TCP, the work is divided between four layers. That means the data link, network, transport and the application, where each layer does its work very easily, and the work can be done very fast, and it will be very effective that the data is going from sender to receiver accurately. And in the transport layer, we'll tell that the transport layer is a reliable layer, because in transport layer we can assure that the data will go from the sender to receiver without any interruption. So these are the highlights of the TCP IP model. And what are the layers in the TCP IP model? So just now as we discussed, we are having 4 layers in the TCP by IP model. Application layer, network layer or transport layer, and internet layer or the network layer, and the data link layer. So these are the 4 we are having in the TCP by IP. So these are the more important thing in the TCP by IP model, because nowadays without internet we cannot do any work in a single day also. So all these will do the operations in that one. So this is the architecture. Just now as we saw, the physical, data link, network and transport and application. So these are the layered architecture. And in OSI, as I told you, we are having 7 models. So these are the 7 layers in the OSI model. So just now we discussed that in TCP we are having 4 layered architecture. So the TCP is a 4 layered architecture, that is a data link layer, network layer, transport layer and the application layer. So as I discussed with you, the OSI reference model is a 7 layered architecture. So the first one is physical layer, data link, network, transport, session, presentation and application. So next coming to the, I will show you one thing about the TCP by IP. And in the physical layer, as I discussed with you, the physical layer will take the data and it will convert the data into the bits by using the transmission media. Transmission media, we are having the guided and unguided transmission media, where each and every person can know that the data from the user is in the normal format, and it will convert into the binary code where we can understand the data. So these are the 4 layers in the TCP by IP. So whatever I am explaining you, the data link layer, internet layer is nothing but the network layer, the transport layer and the application layer. So just now we discussed about the link layer, that is nothing but the data link layer is again divided into 2 parts, the MAC sub layer and the thing. So these are the layers which are updated. That means the original layers are 4. As we discussed, the link, internet, transport and application. So these are the updated layers in the OSI reference model. So the updated layers are physical, data link, network, transport and the application. And you can see these are the OSI reference model 7 layers, and those are about the TCP. Physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation and the application layer. So these are the divisions for these layers. So the divisions are nothing but the layers which are updated later after the TCP by IP. So these are the starting layers in the TCP by IP. That means first we used only TCP by IP, later after that the OSI reference model has came. So these are the operations which are performed in the TCP by IP model. So you can see here, coming to the first one, application. So it is used to send the file transfer, simple message transfer, and the transport is for TCP and UDP, and the network is for IP, internet and routers, and the internet and switches. So these are the operations of the layers. So the application layer, as I told you, it is a graphical user interface where it will communicate with the users. Here the communication is HTTP, FTP and SMTP. FTP is nothing but, as we know, the file transfer, where it will take the data from all the remaining layers and it will give that files to the user which are requested by the user. So files. And next one is the transport layer is TCP and UDP. So it will check the error control, flow control and all the mechanisms are done in the TCP by IP. And coming to the network, you can see here which uses the IP, internet protocol and the routers to exchange the data. And the data link layer will use the Ethernet and switches to exchange, that means the wired data from the sender to the receiver. So we are using the wired connection to send the data. We are having 2 types, the guided and unguided, that means wired and wireless. So by using wire, as we know the example of wire is coaxial, twisted pairs. So all these are the wired and these are the remaining layers. So this is about the TCP and IP model which I have explained, and thank you for watching this.